Welcome. Thanks for stopping in. We're glad you came. Please come in and find a seat. We are Forefront. We are a vehicle for God's love. Our movement is not limited by geographic boundaries. Our scope is worldwide. We aim to show people firsthand what God's love and grace feel like. We want people to see that there is a God who loves them more than they can ever know. Our methods are simple. We meet people where they are, and we show them love. We do not require bullhorns or podiums or grandstands. When we see a need, we go to work. Living rooms, backyards, alleys, restaurants, offices. Wherever people are hurting, we lend a helping hand, and we listen. We believe in solid foundations that families can look to for inspiration and direction. We do not play favorites or take sides. We play for the human team. We are committed to seeing lives and communities change all around the world. We are dedicated to this to the end. We will not cut and run, no matter the circumstance. When tough times arise, we hold our heads high, and we fall back on love. Again, thanks for stopping in. If there's anything we can do to help you out, please let us know before you leave. For now, enjoy the service.
Used to think I wanted to be famous. I'd be recognized out in a crowd. But the funny thing is, anytime I've gotten what I want, it lets me down. Now I just wanna look more like love. I just wanna look more like love. This whole world is spinning crazy, and I can't quite keep up. It's the one thing around here we don't have quite enough of. So I just wanna look a little more like love. Like love. I used to think I needed all the answers. I used to think I needed what was right. I used to be afraid of things I couldn't cover up in black and white. I just wanna look more like love. I just wanna look more like love. This whole world is spinning crazy, and I can't quite keep up. It's the one thing around here we don't have quite enough of. So I just wanna look a little more like I just wanna look more like love. I just wanna look more like love. This whole world is spinning crazy, and I can't quite keep up. It's the one thing around here we don't have quite enough of. So I just wanna look a little more like love. Like love.
Good morning, Church Online. My name is Dan, and I am here with all the things that you need to know. We're glad you're here, and we want to connect with you. Send us a DM or head over to our .info page and click the Connect tab, and let us know how we can help you with your journey with God. Hey, as we're all being asked to stay put and practice social distancing, we know that the greatest toll of this might be on our kids. But good news, starting tonight, our student ministry is going to be live on YouTube, and then when they get done there, they're going to head into their Zoom small groups. You can check all of this out on the events page. Speaking of kids, we're not leaving the little ones out either. Don't worry, Mom and Dad, we're going to have a service online for K through 5th grade. We're going to have songs, a Bible story, like they would experience here on Sunday, just online. Head over to the events page to learn more. You know, we may not be meeting here at the campus, but we are still the church, and it has been cool to watch how you have been encouraging each other online. So please today, help us to celebrate our social media superhero, Jamie Willis. Woo! Jamie, way to go. Jamie, we saw how you were encouraging others online. You were helping them out as they were talking about the things that they were scared of, and you were pointing them to faith and hope and not fear. They needed encouragement, and you provided it, and that's what we all need. Thank you so much for doing that. You rock. If you see somebody from Forefront doing something for others online, please tag us and let us know. We want to know how you're caring for others. And don't forget, we want to connect with you, so please shoot us a DM or head over to our .info page and hit the Connect tab so we can help you in your journey with God. Now get those emojis ready, get loud in those living rooms as we begin today's service. Woo!
Hey, what's up, Forefront? My name's Tommy Altman. For those of you who don't know me, I'm going to be your Connections host today. I'm actually supposed to be up here with Jason, so if anybody knows where he's at, if you can go grab him real quick so we can get going.
Tommy, I need to let you know, I'm back here. I'm not going to be up there with you because last week you hugged me, and that the CDC said that not only are we supposed to stay 6 feet apart, touching is bad, like all around.
I just got good at hugs.
I am anti-hugs. The CDC is on my side. All of you introverts, we're going to band together separately during this time, but you stay up there. See, I can like poke him. Boop. Boop. And I'm going to be back here, but we want to connect with you. And so make sure, like Dan said, slide into those DMs, there we go. Make sure that you leave a comment. Let us know how we can help you in your journey with God. Or you can head over to forefrontchurch.info, click that Connect tab. Let us know how we can help you today as we all navigate this stuff together, but at a safe distance. Like my friend up there, I'm going to stay right here. And so, Tommy, why don't you take it from here? Boop, boop.
Man, what are we going to do with this guy? Listen, hey, look, as we interact with the divine together online, we want to reiterate today, like we always do, that you're loved, all right? That you're loved by God and you're loved by this church. That you are not alone. No matter how much life may make you feel otherwise right now, we are in this together, and we're going to get through this together. Now, listen, I know that while you're home and you're trying to navigate all this, it's easy to get sidetracked and forget who we truly are and that we're truly loved. So actually, we have a video here to remind us of where our identity truly lies.
Hey, Forefront. My name is Evan, and I am excited, along with the band, to get to lead you in some music this morning. And we are really bummed that we can't be with you here on campus, but really thankful for the technology that allows us to connect with each other online this morning. And we know that God is here with us, and we also know that God is right there with you wherever you find yourself this morning, whether in your living room, at work, wherever you are, God is with you. And so we want to invite you to participate with us, to sing along if you feel led, to stand and lift your arms if you feel led. But we don't want you just to sit back passively. We want to invite you in to engage with us. So we'd love it if you would sing along with us. Worthy is the Lamb. Worthy is the Lamb who was slain. Worthy is the King who conquers the grave. Worthy is the Lamb who was slain. Worthy is the King who conquers the grave. Worthy is the Lamb who was slain. Worthy is the King who conquers the grave. Worthy is the Lamb who was slain. Worthy, worthy, worthy. This is amazing grace. This is unfailing love. That you would take my place. That you would bear my cross. You would lay down your life. That I would be set free. Jesus, I sing for all that you've done for me. dust you formed. Faith commanded, and the mountains moved. Fear is losing ground to our hope in you. Unstoppable God, let your glory go on and on. Impossible things in your name, they shall be done. Freedom conquered, all our chains undone. Sin defeated, Jesus is overcome. Mercy triumphed when the third day dawned. Darkness was denied when the stone was gone. Unstoppable God, let your glory go on and on. Impossible things in your name, they shall be done. Unstoppable God, let your glory go on and on. Impossible things in your name, they shall be done. Let's sing this out together. Nothing shall be impossible. Nothing shall be impossible. Your kingdom reigns unstoppable. We'll shout your praise forevermore. Jesus, our God, unstoppable. Nothing shall be impossible. Your kingdom reigns unstoppable. We'll shout your praise forevermore. Jesus, our God, unstoppable. Nothing shall be impossible. Your kingdom reigns unstoppable. We'll shout your praise forevermore. Jesus, our God, unstoppable. Nothing shall be impossible. Your kingdom reigns unstoppable. We'll shout your praise forevermore. Jesus, our God, unstoppable. Unstoppable God, let your glory go on and on. Impossible things in your name, they shall be done. Unstoppable God, let your glory go on and on. Impossible things in your name, they shall be done. Hey, well, this morning we have a new song that we would love to share with you. Maybe you've heard it before, maybe it's brand new to you. But 1 Corinthians chapter 3 says, "There is no other foundation that has been laid than the one that Jesus Christ has laid." And so this next song is all about the foundation that we build our life upon. And there is no better foundation than Jesus. And we know that when we put our lives in Jesus' hands, when we put our hope and our trust in Him, that He is going to be doing some incredible things within our own lives individually and collectively as a church. So I would love it if you would sing along with us as we sing this next song, Build My Life. Worthy of every song we could ever sing, worthy of all the praise we could ever bring, worthy of every breath we could ever breathe. We live for you. Jesus, the name above every other name. Jesus, the only one who could ever save. Worthy of every breath we could ever breathe. We live for you. Oh, we live for you. And holy, there is no one like you. There is none beside you. Open up my eyes in wonder and show me who you are and fill me with your heart and lead me in your love to those around me. Let's sing worthy. Worthy of every song we could ever sing. Worthy of all the praise we could ever bring. Worthy of every breath we could ever breathe. We live for you. Jesus, the name above every other name. Jesus, the only one who could ever save. Worthy of every breath we could ever breathe. We live for you. Oh, we live for you. And holy, there is no one like you. There is none beside you. Open up my eyes in wonder and show me who you are and fill me with your heart and lead me in your love to those around me. And holy, there is no one like you. There is none beside you. Open up my eyes in wonder and show me who you are and fill me with your heart and lead me in your love to those around me. Sing, I will build my life. I will build my life upon your love. It is a firm foundation. I will put my trust in you alone, and I will not be shaken. I will build my life upon your love. It is a firm foundation. I will put my trust in you alone, and I will not be shaken. Holy, there is no one like you. There is none beside you. Open up my eyes in wonder and show me who you are and fill me with your heart and lead me in your love to those around me. And holy, there is no one like you. There is none beside you. Open up my eyes in wonder and show me who you are and fill me with your heart and lead me in your love to those around me. Would you pray with me? Heavenly Father, we are so grateful for the foundation that you have built for us in Jesus. God, we thank you for the love that you continuously show us, for the grace that you continually show us, God. And we ask that you would help us to live that out. Help us to live grace and love in this time when we may be stuck at home with our family just a little bit too much. God, we are so thankful that you are with us. God, we are so thankful for the gift of peace and of patience and of hope and comfort in the midst of a world that is spinning around us like crazy. God, we thank you that you show up when we call out to you. God, we love you so much, and we thank you for this time. It's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Man, thank you so much. I really appreciate the band and all the hard work they put in. They do a lot of work every week to lead us like that. I really appreciate it. I'm also really thankful for the tech crew. Man, it's a lot of work to put on a service like this online for a digital campus, and I know that it's a lot for them. That's all invisible behind the scenes. So whenever you see those guys online or see them in person in the future, man, really express your gratitude. I would not be able to do any of this, and so we would definitely be in a tough time if it was up to me. So I really appreciate you guys. I'm really thankful that in a time like this, that we live where and when we live in history right now. Like, think about it. The fact that we can get online on an online campus and gather together and still have a sense of community, man, it's just such an awesome opportunity that we have. And I know that in a time like this, there's so much uncertainty that's going around. We're uncertain of when our kids are finally going to go back to school. We're uncertain, some of us, of when we're returning to work. And some people are uncertain about their health. We're uncertain about, is life ever going to go back to the way it was before? And honestly, we don't know. But we do know that in a time like this, man, fear and panic, man, they're in great supply. Whether it's from rumors online in the community or whether it's lies that are spread, we want to make sure that we focus on what's true and turn back to truth. And the truth is, love and hope is what we need right now. In a time like this, when everything is like spinning around, out of control it feels like, we need more love and hope. And that's why one of the things I love about coming here to Forefront every single week is I'm reminded of the things that are true. I'm reminded of the things that are important and to get my priorities in order all over again. I love that when we come here, we experience the love and the hope and the grace of God in such a way that it overflows in our lives, and it calms those fears inside of us. I love that it overflows in our lives and heals those broken spots inside of us that we pretend we have together, but the truth of the matter is, a lot of times we're struggling. And so I love that that's who we are. And it doesn't just stay within the walls of this building or in our community here locally, but it spreads, not just here, but all over the world to make the entire world a better place for all humankind. And I love that we partner with local community here with organizations like Penn Ministry for people in need, homeless. We partner with Aid Now, which we'll talk about more later. We partner with the Crisis Pregnancy Center to help young ladies who are struggling through that whole process. And I love that that's who we are. And it's because of the generous giving that's done here. Now we're going to enter into a time of giving, and we say this every single week that we're gathered, and we absolutely mean it. If you're new with us today, we would rather you not give. We want this service to be a gift to you. Giving at Forefront is for those of us who call Forefront home, and we decided to put down roots here. So giving for us is a natural reaction of what happens in our life with God. So let me pray, and we'll keep moving. God, thanks so much for this opportunity to give back to you. Thanks for a chance to get our priorities straight again. God, thanks for this moment and time and the craziness that can surround us in life normally, and especially in times like this. Thanks for this moment to focus on what's true, and that's your love and your hope. God, thanks for being a good God that we can trust. God, we pray for all of our leaders at state and federal level in a time like this, that they make wise choices and they understand and they move in love and hope as well. Thanks for being a God that we can turn to at all times. We praise your name. Amen. All right, normally there'd be beach buckets that you can pass around. We're not in service. If you have a beach bucket, I don't care, wear it like a hat, put a photo up, it'd be cool. But here, you can text to give online, or you can give online at forefrontchurch.info/giving, or you can mail in if that's easier, whichever one's better for you. Really, it doesn't matter to us, whichever one works. But I want you guys to sit back as we enter into our second week of a new series on how to navigate new spots in life called Game Over. Check this out.
Right, church online, Forefront Church, it is good to see you. Again, let us know where you're watching from. Take some pictures of you guys and your viewing parties at a safe distance. Tommy almost tried to hug me on the way in passing. I told him no hugsies today. But we want to hang out with you and learn together. And before we jump into the message, I want to share with you a little bit. We posted online about the power of using media to connect with people, and specifically online church. And what does that look like and feel like? Because some people have mixed feelings about what's happening. A lot of people don't right now because there's no other way to do it. But we've been doing this for a long time. I want to read to you some of the sentiment of what's happening in people's lives because we have these tools. And so Jessica Rodriguez shared, she said, I can't even begin to tell you what it meant to me to stream one of the sermons when I first started attending Forefront, after not attending church for years. And I can't even express how grateful I am that I get to connect even when life gets so busy. I'm grateful for all the hard work that you guys put into the messages and services on different platforms. All my love, thank you. Steve Herring said, I love it all, man, exclamation point. Casey Salamnoski shares, being able to watch services online has kept me grounded in my faith through some of the most trying times. Through 2 moves and struggling to find a church to attend in person both times with the military moving them, I've been so grateful that we've had our Forefront home to turn to online. Just a few quick ways that we're just watching people connect. And share your story in the comments about how God is moving in your life and how is he using the local church here at Forefront to provide that. I saw people jumping in. We saw a couple people from overseas, one from Bahrain. Good to see you, Brandon. Glad you're joining with us. You and your family can worship together even while you are away. Just really cool comments in there. Let us know. But life has told us to press pause. As we've jumped into this series, we realize that all of us have basically hit the pause button where life is slowing down. We've heard from many people that their job has moved to home or their job has paused for a while. And it causes us to reflect. And I had the opportunity weeks ago to sit down with a couple that goes to church here, Joe and Tracy. And we shared their story at one of our vision nights, but our vision nights got kind of put to rest for a while with everything going on. And I was so inspired by the fact that all along the way, they were watching as God kind of told them, hey, I'm going to press pause and watch what I do when you're looking for me. And so let's take a moment together and share and learn from Joe and Tracy's story.
I'm Tracy.
And I'm Joe.
And I think we've been coming to Forefront about 8 or 9 years. We have 3 children that range in age from 27, 21, and 19. We have seen the roller coaster in parenting them.
We used to attend a church that I won't name before we found Forefront. At that point in our lives, we didn't want to deal with church anymore. And we were running one day and found Forefront, and we said we're going to try Forefront. The statement where you go, if this is your first time with us, please don't give. And that seems to set people at ease because I grew up in a Baptist church where we had 7 offerings, so it was definitely all about your money. And I lived through it. I can definitely speak on it, and I wound up leaving church at 16 because I thought it was foolishness. At the previous church, our kids didn't really like it. They didn't take to it. Richard, especially, when we started coming to Forefront, he just loved it. And so we knew then, we was like, okay, this is. And just a lot of the stuff that he learned in here, that we know that he learned here, is actually just paying dividends for us right now. We are looking, just to, help them to be the best people or the best Christians they can be. Again, that's all in God's time and not our time. That's one of the things we've learned is sometimes you have to let go and step out the way and let God, do what he's supposed to do. And that's my fault a lot of time. I think I can just fix everything.
Right.
And can't do it all the time. So
God has been teaching me patience. We've been married for almost 23 years now, and that was something that I always prayed about, because I struggle with patience. I worry by nature. If something happens, that's my first go-to. My first go-to is not to pray. My first go-to is to worry. Then I'll say, oh, let me go and pray. You taught a sermon a couple of weeks ago, and that has stuck with me, that God hears us. And I needed to hear that particular day, because just the back and forth with some of the issues that we're going through now with our kids. And I have turned that page and praying more and just not worrying so much. But I got to a point where I was like, God, are you even listening to me? That I felt like I'm praying, but I'm not seeing anything. And when I heard that sermon, that God hears us, He saves us, and He creates a space for us, I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, thank you, God, because I really needed to hear that.
It's not just about the knowledge part. It's about the love part, God requires us to, do everything in love. And before, even in my young Christian days, I was more about, okay, this is the rules. This is what the Bible says, blah, blah, blah. Stop it. And now, as I'm matured in Christ, I've started to tip over to, okay, yeah, I may be right, but I wasn't always righteous. And there's a difference.
Right.
Yeah.
People walk into church and they feel like they're going to be judged. It's a genuine love here.
Right.
It's not forced. It's not fake. It's real. Anybody walking through the door that may not have been to church in years or ever, just relax, because this is a safe place.
There's no arrogance there. People, don't look down on you. The staff there, the members there, they're more than willing to help you. I finally got it together. I didn't have it all together, even though I thought. But as I matured in Christ, eventually He landed us where we needed to be, and I was right here forefront.
Yeah.
One of the things that I love about hearing Joe and Tracy's story, when we were talking off camera, they kept bringing up the fact that God, in all of the tumultuous moments, that He would say, you know what? Just pause. Look for these moments where I am working, even when you're having a difficult time with that. And the way that we would put it here is that we would say, look for the lamppost moments. These moments where we look to what's happening and say, God, you're giving me a reminder of the past, giving meaning to the present, and hope for the future. That God, all of these things are drawing me back to you, whether it's happening with our kids, our church experience that went awry, a difficult moment at work, in our marriage, you name it. God, I will look to what you did back then in the past so I can remember how good you are right now and look hopeful to the future. Because right now we're in a moment where life is very uncertain. And so I call to each one of us to look for the lampposts. And today we're actually going to look at the story of Joshua when he did that very thing. If you have a Bible, you could turn over. It's in the Old Testament to Joshua chapter 4. And if you don't have a Bible, that's okay. We can provide that for you right there in the comfort of your living room or bedroom there. You can go to forefrontchurch.info/notes and follow along with things. You can go to Connect, and you can also get current updates along the way. And if you go to the .info page and click Bible Tools, everything that you have is right there as well. And that's an easy way to do that. But we want to make sure that you have a Bible for you. And before we get into the story today over in Joshua chapter 4, I want to give us a little background. You see, Joshua had taken over leading the people of Israel, and they were being led towards the promised land. They had been in captivity and slavery. They had gotten out of that. They had left from Pharaoh's reign. They even crossed, and you may be familiar with this if you're around church. If not, they were led up to the Red Sea, and the Red Sea parted. God parted the Red Sea for them, and they walked across on dry land. They wandered. Eventually, when Moses had died, he had passed the torch to Joshua. Now Joshua's leading them along, and they come up to another moment where they have to cross the Jordan River. And it's interesting that people go, how in the world are we going to do this? And Joshua gets a word from God saying, I will do what I did before, I will do it again. So just walk out, and as you begin to take the ark out, that you would move, and when you step into the water, it will part. And sure enough, as it said, he would block it, and it parted, and they walked across again on dry land. And this is where we catch up with Joshua and the people of Israel over in Joshua chapter 4. And it's starting in verse 1 and following. If you have a Bible, you can turn over there. If not, it'll be right here on the screens. It says, when the whole nation had finished crossing the Jordan, the Lord said to Joshua, choose 12 men from among the people, one from each tribe, and tell them to take up 12 stones from the middle of the Jordan. So they're crossing across the Jordan on dry ground. So pick up these stones from there. And so each one, a member of the 12 tribes, grabbed a stone from right there where the priests are standing and carry them over with you and put them down at the place where you stay tonight. Now we're going to jump down to verse 19. On the 10th day of the first month, the people went up to the Jordan and camped at Gilgal on the eastern border of Jericho. We're going to get to this account of Joshua and the Battle of Jericho a little bit later. And Joshua set up at Gilgal the 12 stones he had taken out of the Jordan. He said to the Israelites, in the future, now don't miss this, in the future, when our descendants ask their parents, what do these stones mean? Tell them, Israel crossed the Jordan on dry ground. For the Lord your God dried up the Jordan before you until you had crossed over. The Lord your God did to the Jordan, don't miss this, what he had done at the Red Sea when he dried it up before us until we had crossed over. In verse 24, he did this so that all the peoples of the earth might know that the hand of the Lord is powerful, and so that you might always fear the Lord your God. And that's not talking about like a trembling, like scary. This is saying, God, that there would be a reverence, like, God, you are more powerful than I. God, I will honor you above thinking that I'm the one, like we taught about a few weeks ago, holding the steering wheel. God, no. It's not Jesus, take the wheel. God, you are in the driver's seat. I will abide by what you say. This fear is a sense of honor. And he's trying to teach them, as he sets up this altar, is this kind of marker that, you know what? God has done this before at the Red Sea, and it's happening now at the Jordan River, and we don't want generations to forget that. You see, we need to take time to pause. And if you don't hear anything else today, in the middle of being quarantined and isolated and social distancing, and wondering, God, where are you and what are you doing? My hope is that you would remember this truth, that we would move on and pause as we do this. Pausing reminds us that the God who did it before can do it again. That in these moments where we think, God, where are you? Because we can forget that the God back at the Red Sea also helped us here. That God, how can you even do this? There were moments in the lives of the guys who followed Jesus, called the disciples, where they watched people raised from the dead, and then moments later wondered, how are we going to feed a bunch of these people, thousands of people? Well, I think the guy that can raise people from the dead and cause the blind to see could also feed a bunch of people, that he can take care of those things. And the God of the Old Testament is teaching them then and teaching us now. It does not matter the plight at which the depths that we are encountering, that God is still God and God can still work the same things he did back then, today. You see, I firmly believe that if we do what they did, remaining faithful in the little things, that he will do what he did and provide in the big things 100% of the time. God, if we are faithful to you, if we trust you in these things, that you will show up and you will show off how good you are, not to draw your name to an individual believer, not to draw your name to the name of Forefront Church, but that God, you will draw your name to how you are amazing and that people will come to know your Son and be saved. See, one of the ways that we saw this unfold was back in 2011. This picture here is of the very first time that the nonprofit aidnow.org did their community engagement with children who are either homeless or displaced within the city of Virginia Beach, working with social workers and making sure that they had clothing and haircuts and book bags. And this all birthed out of an idea to say, God, we need to do something greater in our community, and it can't be something that we just do on our efforts, but on yours. And, well, churches usually aren't allowed in the school system a whole lot. So he said, let's start a nonprofit and put some people around it and give them a vision for what it could be. And that year, they had the opportunity to impact 300 kids. Well, that was back in 2011. Well, because people paused, it said, God, we want to think about what has happened in the past with us. We want to look at the present, what's happening with others, and we want to declare that you can move. That from that point till now, over 2,600, and that number continues to grow, of families that have been impacted by God's love and grace, even within the confines of our school system, because men and women of faith said, I will go, I will serve, but I will first pause and say, God, where have you brought me through, and how can I help others? Trusting him in the little things, just like Joshua did. Joshua stopped. It said, before we do anything else, let's pause and honor God for what he's done, because we want to remember this for future generations. I love the way that Admiral William McCraven, he puts it as he talks to his soldiers. Of all the things that he could tell them and inspire them with, the biggest thing that he tells them is, hey, I need you to make your bed. I need you to stop and pause at the very beginning of the day, and I need you to make your bed. Now, you might be like, that's crazy. And some of us who are sitting inside and we are self-isolating and taking some time to distance ourselves might be like, I haven't made my bed in days. I don't know if I've showered in days. Which, by the way, take a shower, okay? We need to keep up that hygiene as we move along. Let's keep the habits up, and let's not sit and eat a whole bag of Cheetos in one sitting. That we move through. He tells them, say, make your bed. And the reason that he tells this to his soldiers, he says, if you can't do the little things right, if you can't stop and pause in the little things, then you won't be able to do the big things well. There is no way that you're going to be able to handle those moments. It's so remember these moments. And if you could do these well, you'll be entrusted with more. It is such a biblical precept that we honor God at every single moment, big or small, because God, you will provide. God, you did it before, and you could do it again. But God also calls us to dig in and do the work. And I love the way that Will Smith puts it. He's a phenomenal actor, works hard, one of the hardest working people in Hollywood. Listen to what he says about never stopping and digging in. Listen to this. It says, the only thing that I see that is distinctly different about me is that I'm not afraid to die on a treadmill. I will not be outworked, period. But if we get on the treadmill together, there's only two things. You're getting off first, or I'm going to die. And I would ask you, when it comes to honoring God and pausing and saying, God, I will trust you, are you willing to die on that treadmill? For some of you, like, I don't even want to get on the treadmill. That's the last thing I want to do. But when it comes to faith and trusting him, are we really ready to say, God, I will be faithful in every moment? And you may ask, what is faithfulness? What does it mean to trust him at the Red Sea? What does it mean to trust him at the Jordan? What does it mean to trust him during the coronavirus? What does it mean to trust him in social distancing and isolation, in job insecurity, in finances amok, and then the kids are home? And what do we do? God, I am trying to trust you, but what does it mean to be faithful? Faithfulness, quite simply, is long obedience in the same direction. Long obedience in the same direction, even if your job has been put on pause. Long obedience in the same direction, even if within your home, maybe for the first time, you've been around each other more than you've ever been, and there's some things coming to light that are real difficult, and you're processing those going, God, why? Faithfulness. God, my job is insecure, and God, I don't know what to do. My anxiety is rushing up. God, my depression is larger more than ever. God, what should I do? Long obedience in the same direction. God, you are the same God that did it before. You are the same God that can do it again. At each and every single step. You see, I need more of God today than I did yesterday. Because the longer that I'm following him, long obedience in the same direction, being faithful, the more I realize that it's not about Jason, but it's about God. It's my reliance and dependency on him and him alone. And one of the things, if we could just do 2 action points for you this week, as you are saying, God, I don't want it to be game over. It is not game over. God, I know, and we talked about this last week, that the one who is in your corner, Jesus, that with him it is not game over, that he is pushing you forward and pushing me forward. And one of the first action steps we can take this week is to pause with God every day. Pause with God every day. And I know this to be true. You have more time on your hands. I know that I do. I know my kids do. That God, I'm going to take time with you. And I love the way that Joshua did this, that he stayed in the presence of God over time as he watched, God, you are good. God, you are faithful. What you did at the Red Sea, we won't forget that. And we're going to trust you now at the Jordan. That all of these moments were coming together, taking a step of faith, this constant obedience. And we just pause. God, I'm going to start my day with thanking you. God, I'm going to start not by swiping on Facebook because everyone eventually falls asleep. That feed is silent for a while. But God, I'm waking up and the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to open up my Bible here. I'm going to open up my Bible, or I'm going to open up my Bible app. And we have tools that you can get there online on our .info page to get those. Just search Bible tools. Say, God, this is where I will begin my trust and my faithfulness. But I wonder why Joshua paused. That was my immediate question in reading that. Like, of all the things you could do, keep trucking, keep moving along. You have a job to do. Your job, your mandate was to get to the promised land, take these people where they need to go. And I love that what we learn in this is our second action step, and we can do this even this week. Establish celebration rituals. There's a celebration happening. You may have not showered for a few days, and today you take a shower, celebrate that, okay? Your kids went half a day without fighting. Give everybody a treat inside and celebrate the win of the day. Mom, dad, they did a little bit of homework rather than none. All right, like celebrate the moments. Because when we instill in our lives, not only with each other, but with God, celebration rituals, God begins to change our very spirit. Why did Joshua pause? Why did he take that moment to say, I will trust you. We will build an altar. Let's all remember that, tell the generations what God has done. Well, I told you earlier that we were going to get to that Joshua in the Battle of Jericho. You see, later down the line, as they go into the promised land, they are given, and God says, I will give over to you this city of Jericho, but you're going to need to do something. You're going to need to trust me. And this is really huge because you think that it's going to be a battle. You think that you're going to charge the gates. He said, no, walk around the city. He's like, are you kidding me? Yeah, yep, walk around the city. And then walk around the city again. And then walk around again. And they're walking around and walking around and walking around. And they're like, oh, this is tired. And then on the final day, he said, walk around the city and then blow the trumpets. And then the walls came down. You see, I firmly believe that as Joshua trusted him at Jordan, he needed to get him ready because there never would have been a Jericho if he never trusted him at the Jordan. And there are moments that you and I are asking for, God, get me through this moment. God, get me through this thing. This is difficult. My anxiety is through the roof. My depression is heavy. This situation is difficult. God, I don't know where to reach. I don't know where to turn. And God is looking at you and I saying, I love you. But remember what I did back then. And trust me in the moment now, because you have hopeful and bigger things into the future. But this is our Jordan moment as God points us to Jericho moments. To say, I am not done with you. The best is yet to come, and I am preparing you. And I learned this. Gosh, I learn it all the time because I think I forget. I forget. Because one of my biggest struggles I wrote down here is not focusing on the bad necessarily, but forgetting God's goodness. And a few months ago, I was out running in our neighborhood. I live in the Kempsville area, and just running around there. And they built this new little park there at the corner of Witch Duck and Kempsville and Providence and all that. So not Providence, Princess Anne. And I'm out there running, doing my thing. And I stop on this bridge and I take a photo because I wanted to remember, God, thank you. I literally saw a lamppost and stop and had a lamppost moment because each and every day I swing my legs out. I thank God that I can walk. Thank God that I can run. Thank God that I can move the way that I can. Because back in college, foolish and kind of young and dumb, driving down the highway a little too fast. Car was full of people, and one of our passengers in the back seat in the middle didn't have a seatbelt on. And we ended up rolling and wrecking that car. We rolled over 4 times on Interstate 64, flipped up onto the middle median, concrete median there, slid upside down, and all of us walked away. Well, the car was totaled. The paramedics got there. We all had gotten out. We all walked away from the accident. As they're loading us into the ambulance to check out, we had glass, head hit the windshield, glass in my head and on my face, and said, "Can't believe you two that were in the front seat walked away." We're like, "What?" He goes, "Every time people get into an accident, they immediately lock up to brace themselves." He said, "For some reason, you guys curled up into the fetal position." He said, "I don't know what to tell you, but somebody was looking out for you." Now, we knew at that moment that that was God, that God had given us that opportunity to walk away from that, everyone unscathed, with very, very minor scratches and bruises. But it taught me a lesson when I wake up each day. The God who was faithful before will be faithful again. And for you and I, in times that are so uncertain, my plea, my heart for you, it's been my prayer for you specifically every single day, that you and I would pause. And this is true, that pausing reminds us that the God who did it before can do it again. And our hope at Forefront Church in these new uncertain times is to be a beacon of hope for you and I in our week to pause, to reflect on the beauty that is God and His movement, and to hold to the promise, no matter where you find yourself, faith, no faith, in between, that the God who did it before can do it again. I want to take a moment together to pause and reflect. And before we do, I want you to change your posture. You've been sitting, maybe you're lounging on the couch, or you're sitting on the bed, or maybe you're in your home office. I want you right now to change. Maybe you need to grab, maybe you're in your living room and it's on the TV, and instead you need to get down on the floor. Maybe you need to sit, maybe the kids are around. Maybe for you, you need to get down and get on your knees and ask God, "God, what are you doing in this moment for me? What are you doing in this moment for my life and what's happening? Because God, I want to trust you, but I'm scared." And I want to encourage you as we reflect and pray that the God who did it before in your life and in mine, man, He's going to do it again. Let's take a look.
in the comments and leave some emojis. Let us know some of the things maybe you're processing this morning, some of the questions you may have, and we've got someone on our Forefront account who will be there to respond and to reach out. So we'd love, as we close this morning, if you'd sing with me. Walking around these walls, I thought by now they'd fall, but you have never failed me yet. Waiting for change to come, knowing the battle's won, for you have never failed me yet. Your promise still stands, great is your faithfulness, faithfulness. Still in your hands, this is my confidence, you've never failed me yet. I know the night won't last, your word will come to my heart will sing your praise again. And Jesus, you're still enough. Keep me within your love. My heart will sing your praise again. Your promise still stands, great is your faithfulness, faithfulness. I'm still in your hands, this is my confidence, you've never failed. Your promise still stands, great is your faithfulness. Still in your hands, this is my confidence, you've never failed me yet. I've seen you move the mountains, and I believe I'll see you do it again. You made a way where there was no way, and I believe I'll see you do it again. I've seen you move the mountains, and I believe I'll see you do it again. You made a way when there was no way, and I believe I'll see you do it again. I'll see you do it again. Let's sing it out. Your promise still stands. Your promise still stands. Great is your faithfulness, faithfulness. I'm still in your hands. This is my confidence. You've never failed. Your promise still stands. Great is your faithfulness, faithfulness. I'm still in your hands. This is my confidence. You've never failed me yet, and I never will forget. You've never failed me yet, and I never will forget.
Well, hey, you guys, we're so thankful for you. And there's Evan. Hey, get back. Yeah, 6 feet. You guys welcome Evan. He came on staff during a global pandemic. And so, man, that's just, that's got to be tough there, buddy. But we are thankful for just adding new team members and doing that. And I also I'm going to swing this around. There's a whole group of guys in the back who are almost like silhouettes. You guys give some emojis in there for them. We're so thankful for them. And we're thankful for you. Keep tuning in. Keep digging in. God is not done with you. What he did before, he'll do it again. We love you. We hope you have an amazing week. Somebody asked me if I was going to do it every week, and I will. See you next time.